In today's video, we are going to be breaking down Jordan Clarkson. This year in the NBA, he is close to a 40% three-point shooter, shooting a little over 8 three-point shots per game. So let's get down and let's check out Jordan Clarkson. So in this first clip, we see a quick step back that turns into a three-point shot. Of course, he did jack up 37 points that night, which was absolutely fantastic, but let's break down this shot. So off of this step back, what do we see? We actually notice that his right foot is pointing towards the rim, but I don't want you to get all caught up into that because on a set shot, he actually tilts that foot away from the net towards the left side. However, he does keep his right knee pointing towards the rim, as well as his left knee is slightly away from the rim. His left shoulder is slightly tilted back, but pretty square, maybe only 5 to 10 degrees. It's not really that much. He gathers that ball roughly around the thighs, and then he brings up that ball. When he does bring that ball up from his gather up into his set point, we do notice that he does bend his elbow on the way up into that set point. What does that really mean to us? For some younger players, bending the elbow from gather up into set point means that you may have an inconsistent shot because you may be bending your elbow more or less every single time. However, by going up into your set point, you are not going to be having to worry if you're not bending the elbow, if you're not going to be worrying. But, however, at the same time, this is not something that is affecting his shot, so I'm not going to be worried about that all that much. From his set point, however, we do notice that his shoulder is in line with his elbow, which is something that is extremely important if you're looking to have a straight shot. We also do notice that the ball is over top of the right side of his forehead in his set point, which allows that ball to be over top of his shoulder. Now, you generally want this ball to be somewhere over top of either your shoulder, or upper arm, or elbow. If it's over your elbow, it's going to be a 90-degree angle on your elbow, or if it's a 45-degree, you're going to be somewhere over your upper arm or your shoulder. Now, he does have somewhat of a 45-degree angle on his elbow. What this does for him is it allows him to get more power onto that shot, but by having a 90-degree angle, he would have a quicker release. But again, this is not something that is affecting his shot. This just comes down to speed of his shot. Similar to players like Michael Jordan, he does have 90 degrees on his shoulder, which will allow him to have, again, a quicker release than if he was to shoot with the ball lower, having a 45 on his shoulder, or somebody like Chris Boucher, who has a 100+ degree angle on his shoulder, which would then bring that ball over top of his head. We don't really want to see that all that much. However, it does work for some players, but not for many. When we look for power transfer, we do notice that the shoulders are over top of his toes and over top of his knees in most clips. We don't have any close-up clips from the side, but other clips that are not so close up, he does have his shoulders over top of his knees, over top of his toes, so he does have a balanced shot. When he's going up for his shot, we can see from this angle that he is up onto his heels, which means that he's on his toes, which means that he is engaging his calves, which is fantastic because those are fast twitch muscles that get him up into the air as fast as possible. He has nice energy or power transfer through his calves into his thighs and obviously up into his shot. When he goes to release his shot, we do notice that there is zero thumb flick, which is great. Thumb flick for some players can stop backwards rotation on the ball, but it can also lower that arc on the ball as well. Now, for some players like Curry, it works out. For others, it usually doesn't. We also notice that his elbow is above his forehead, which means that he's got fantastic arc on his shot. And he keeps his arm up there. He has a soft release, which basically means that his shot release is going to allow him to have more arc on that ball, but less backwards rotation. Meanwhile, a hard release like an MJ, for example, would have more rotation but less arc. And then from this clip, we do notice as well that he does jump forward in a lot of his shots. He does also land angled. Now, for some players, this could be an issue. If you're a player who is maybe a bit heavier like myself, this may be an issue if you land sideways. Just the same idea as how Zion Williamson landed with one leg, and that's potentially why he had an injury with his knees. But if you're not a heavy player, that's no real big issue at all. But if you are a heavy player, just keep that in mind. I also really want to point out something that is special with Clarkson. And that is the fact that when he goes up for a shot, check out how high he gets up into the air, for one. For two, watch how his whole right side is lined up to the basket. That's number two. Number three, the reason why he gets so high is he also pushes off and then tenses his hamstring muscles, basically the back of the quads, which will allow him to potentially jump even higher into his shot. The reason why you want to jump higher into your shot is not just to allow you to get more power or more arc. Generally, higher jumps will allow you to get more power on your shot. What this is doing for you is to allow you to not get blocked as easily. Now, Jordan Clarkson is a fantastic three-point shooter. I hope he continues to do really well at the NBA level. And of course, if you have liked today's video, hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys again next time. And of course, if you have any players that you want me to break down, comment below. It may take some time for me to get those videos done because I do get a lot of requests, but I would love to know which players you want. I'll see you guys again next time.